Hey Patrick, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself, Sam?
Good. It's been a minute since I saw you. I've been traveling. Tell me about this meeting that we had. I've been
Um,
meaning to catch up with you about it.
I'm glad you brought that up because I really wanted you to hear about it from me.
Hmm.
So before I get into the meeting, I just do want to say that I really have enjoyed working on the team, and I really appreciated the mentorship and the opportunities you have provided me. I really do value you a lot as my manager, but the meeting the other day with the other aeronautical engineers did not go very well at all. I know you had intended to be there, and I was just going to be there to kind of take notes and help you out with the deliverables following the meeting. But then when I got thrown into leading it, I did the best I could in order to adequately prepare. However, uh, that was not enough. I quickly found out from a lot of the senior guys there that um, it, to them it felt like I was wasting their time. The meeting was more or less a disaster. And
Really, Patrick, I was having higher expectations from you, and I thought this is definitely something you can lead and manage. I know you've only been with our team for a short time, but I saw a lot of potential in you, and I just knew this was something you could handle. So I'm a little disappointed that it didn't go, the way I was intending.
Um, I totally understand that, and I definitely want opportunities like this in the future. But it has been a short time, and that I've been with the team, and I do think I could get to the point where I can handle things like this. I definitely want to become that go-to guy for you, but I think this might have been a little too fast. And to be completely honest, I feel like I was set up for failure in this case.
Okay, well, give me some details. Give me a little bit more details about the meeting as to, why you don't think it went well and some of the things that, we could have done differently.
Um, so there were a lot of specific details they had about other portions of the project that I hadn't really worked on. I've kind of been in my own specific area for this most recent project, and they were asking questions about the new aircraft propulsion system and a lot of questions about the budget and things like that. And they're kind of totally outside of my wheelhouse. I mean, I tried to get up to speed on them as best as I could, but with really the only few hours to prepare, I couldn't I didn't have the in-depth knowledge on either of those subjects that a lot of the senior guys were looking for. So they were not pleased with the result of the meeting.
So you said throw you under the bus. Do you really think that's something I would want to do to you?
I I don't think you would intentionally throw me under the bus or knowingly set me up for failure. And to be honest, when I found out you weren't going to be there, I tried to call you to see if it'd be possible to postpone the meeting, and I wasn't able to get a hold of you. In hindsight, I maybe should have just made the call that I'm not necessarily the guy to do this. So maybe I should have made the call to postpone the meeting. But I thought I'd be able to get through it. But obviously, I was mistaken.
Yeah, I was pulled into an emergency aeronauticals meeting with the leadership team, and these kind of happen quite frequently. With the schedule I have and some of the things that I manage, there may be multiple occasions where, the schedules will change or I might not necessarily be able to support you in these meetings. So I really want to know what we can do to make sure you're adequately prepared because with the talent that you have and just what I've seen in the last 3 months, you're definitely someone that I think can be leading these meetings, moving forward. Some of my other guys would take, 6 months to a year to 2 years before I feel like I can drop them into these meetings. But you're definitely one of those great employees. I see a lot of potential. So I want you to be able to start handling these things and be able to provide you with the tools needed to be able to do that.
Well, I really appreciate that honest feedback, and it's certainly nice to hear that you see that sort of potential in me. And I definitely feel like I could get to the point where I'm fully capable of doing that, taking on these sorts of things last minute, especially when you have something come up. I certainly know that you have a lot going on, man, and a lot of things will come up last minute, and you do need somebody who you can count on. And I would like to acclimate into that role. So, think if we could come up with a good plan of action going forward to develop me to become that person, I would really like that.
So do you have any ideas of what that plan of action will look like?
So I think in the immediate future, if I were to go to maybe a few more of these sort of meetings with you, and kind of like we had planned for this one, be that person who was taking notes, watching you, seeing kind of how you run things, and helping you out with the deliverables following that, and maybe once I get a little more comfortable with it, leading one on my own with you observing me and providing me backup, and then you can give me some good, honest feedback following that.
So I agree with that. I have a couple of meetings coming up where I think it'll be great for you to kind of sit in those and see how I run them, and maybe get an idea of some of the questions the engineers would have. But I really do want to know why, the questions that they did have, it's not something you thought you could handle or take care of, and get a little bit more depth on what happened specifically with this meeting, because it's looking like I'm going to have to go do some damage control.
Yes, there will definitely be some damage control as a result of this meeting. Um, so, like I had kind of alluded to before, they had very specific questions about the propulsion system um, for this aircraft, and most of what I had been working on was the specific design for a lot of the control surfaces and the hydraulic systems and things like that. So, when they wanted to know very specific technical details about the engine for the new aircraft, and kind of where it would put us on the budget and things like that, I didn't know enough, and there was a lot of me saying I'll have to take a look at that and get back to you, and eventually got to the point where the senior guys were just like, well, geez, do you actually know anything?
Okay. Do you think you could have done that differently?
To be totally honest, I in this particular case, I think I should have said, hey, we're gonna have to postpone the meeting because I'm not gonna have enough time to get ready. I think, given adequate time to prepare, I could get up to speed on those things, and I could effectively run the meeting with a little practice and a little bit of your mentorship and guidance, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think we need an action plan. I want to hear from you what you think that action plan should be, and then we can kind of follow it that way.
That'd be great. Yes, like I said, you said you had some meetings coming up, so if I could go with you to some of those and kind of get some feedback from you on kind of your thought process after the meeting and stuff like that, and obviously I'll take some notes. And then possibly in the next few months or so, if I could lead a few, and get some good, honest feedback from you, that would be very beneficial for my professional development, and I would really appreciate it.
I think that sounds like a really good idea. I agree with all of that.
Well, I really appreciate it, and I'm very glad we were able to talk, and I look forward to continuing to work with you.
Sounds good, Patrick. Let's keep this moving.